So my next book, by the way, is the Justin Trudeau collection of apologies, and we may have to run into 2 volumes. Tarek Fatah, author, activist, courageous person, and a very interesting shirt, rather Christmassy.
Yes, it is.
I like that. Good. You say Merry Christmas, don't you?
Of course I do.
None of this
Merry
Happy Holidays crap.
No, I just walk all over Happy Holidays.
Good man, good man. Yeah. Now, reviving the Islamic spirit. Who knew it had to be revived?
It needs to be, but not by these jokers.
That's right. Conference in December, just to coincide with Christmas. And there's all sorts of people here, including Justin Trudeau. Now, some of the names, some of them are very interesting people, but quite a few have, even if vicariously, jihadist connections, don't they?
Oh, let's put it this way. Not one of the speakers that will come here will be opposed to the Egyptian constitution that is being thrust down the throat.
Really?
Not one.
You can say that with complete confidence?
Absolutely. Not one of them will oppose the Muslim Brotherhood. And it's come down to a stage where now, to discuss it with the liberal press that seems to support all these guys, you have to ask a simple question. Is what's happening in Egypt acceptable? That's a threshold. If you accept this Marshal Mussolini who's pushing down a constitution in a matter of 18 hours, then these are the guys who support him.
Well, they're almost all Islamic scholars.
And that's the problem. These are the people, it's the scholars that have ossified...
What sort of scholars?
Well, they claim to be, they dress up in...
They do. Karen Armstrong is there. Karen Armstrong is a failed nun who, I first met her, she would never remember this, but this was a private screening of a film about David Ben-Gurion, heavily Zionistic film, and she was there praising her. I think she may have changed her views on this a little bit, but now she goes around at conferences like this. Also, John Rawson Saul, the wife of Adrian Clarkson, I was only kidding, but I mean, this figure...
But these are useful idiots.
Well, he is.
No, Karen Armstrong doesn't know that she's being used. Her book on Jerusalem, by the way, should be quite upsetting to most of the speakers over here.
Yes, but Seabag Montefiore's book on Jerusalem is far, far better, but she's not a fool. John Rawson Saul, when I say the wife of Adrian Clarkson, I'm sorry, but I'll say it again because he seems such an emasculated figure when he would go around with her. But he's a fairly intelligent man, but he's really bought the whole thing.
Intelligence is not what is required in a war. Courage and clarity is what is required. In this case, the people who hate Canadian society or Canada, which is the crystallization of Western civilization, have utter contempt for it, have the audacity to come here and tell about 20,000 young, born in Canada Muslims, mostly of Pakistani Indian origin, to come over there and in a very subtle, smart way say, this is not where you belong.
Right. And those 20,000 people have votes, and he wasn't on the original list, but now Justin Trudeau is going to speak there. Justin Trudeau, who said he's prepared to leave this country if we question abortion and same-sex marriage, which, believe me, is absolutely and fundamentally questioned by it's not about same-sex marriage, it's the right of a gay person to actually be allowed to live, but he will stand there and speak. Now, will he say to them, you must change your views on this, you must embrace pluralism? You know he won't.
No,
He'll say effectively, vote for me.
You know, he is just in. I mean, in terms that he is pretty boy coming into politics who has no concept of the division within the Muslim world. The president of the Muslim Canadian Congress yesterday told me that despite the fact that she's opposing this, a colleague of Justin approached her saying, oh, Justin Trudeau is coming to address you people.
Oh, good. The racism of that bloody statement.
Now, for the point being that in the eyes of Justin Trudeau, all Muslims look alike. They're like a flock of sheep. They will come there. He has to cater to it. Look at his attitude in condescending way of patronizing the Muslim community. He goes to Windsor. No, he doesn't go there. He goes there by Skype to inaugurate his campaign. Guess where he announces it? In the Rose Islamic Center of Windsor. Now, somehow people have, in the liberal class, especially the illiterate liberal class, have started believing that if you are with the radical Muslim jihadis and the mosque establishment, you are on the cutting edge of revolutionary politics. This is buying revolution off the shelf at Kmart. This is not some thought-out process saying that these are African Americans, I have to stand by them in the civil rights movement. No, this is pedestrian liberalism that simply associates with any radical group because they don't study enough. I'm not saying the guy has bad intentions. I'm just not saying he's acting in bad faith. He's just not fit to be the Prime Minister of this country.
I don't think he would even know. Now, maybe I'm giving him too much credit or too little credit, but I don't think he's a bad person. And I think he probably assumes this is a group of new Canadians and he wants to appeal to them. If you said to him, this does not represent all of Canadian Islam. This is a radical aspect of it. Many of these views...
He might not go.
He might not go. But his people are telling him, look, they're not going to vote Conservative.
There's no
you
way.
can get them. It's between you and Mulcair for these votes.
Michael, there is no way someone like me could even meet with him.
I know.
That's what has happened in this. There are many good people in the Liberal Party, in the NDP, in the Conservatives, but because they are bullied into silence, they can't speak out against the fascism that is inside Canada and is best reflected in what's happening in
Well, thank
Egypt.
goodness you are doing it. In spite of the shirt, pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.